What's going on, guys? Justin Slayer here. Today I'm here to talk to you about the Netduma R1 Gaming Router. I've had this router for about a month now. I planned on giving you guys a review after the first week. Things came up. I had a birthday. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, if you've seen a lot of my commentaries or heard them. I'm kind of sick right now. I've got a sore throat. That's beside the point. I want to talk to you about some routers that I had in the past real quickly. I had the Linksys WRT54G. That was like the first router I ever bought, when I was an adult. Had that for a number of years. And then when I moved to Florida, I got the Apple Airport Extreme once I got into Macs real heavy. And that router worked really good. It was missing some features that I needed for gaming. So that's when I went to the Netgear Nighthawk, which had some quality of service additions to the router that I thought would help me game. And then recently here in the last month, I got the Netduma R1 Gaming Router. So let's talk about why I got this router. When I first heard about this, I saw that it would help you with lag and, maybe help your bullets register more. So that stood out to me, because anybody that's played Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, that you could be in a lobby and you're killing everybody, and then you can stay in the same lobby and the next game is completely different. You hit registration, all that stuff completely changes. So this router really stood out to me when I heard about it, and I thought, all right, let me get my hands on that and test it just to make sure it's not bullshit and people aren't just selling a product. So I was very skeptical at the beginning, but I can say after having this router for a month that this thing is 100% legit. It's not a scam. It's got some of the best customer service that I've ever worked with. Shout out to Ian over there at Netduma. He's helped me a lot. And so let's look at this thing, right? Let's see what we got here. The main reason why you want to get R1 gaming router is for the host filtering here, right? Alright, so before I get into this, I probably should explain my configuration. I'm going from my cable modem, which is, I've got a Motorola Surfboard, and I'm plugging that into that is plugged into my my Nighthawk, and then my Netduma is plugged into my Nighthawk. I think I said that kind of backwards. So we got the modem, Nighthawk, and then the Netduma, and the Netduma is connected via DMZ, so that's important. You might want to remember that. Your configurations might be different from mine, so just keep in mind, read the instructions. All right, so let's look at this thing, right? So one of the things that drives me crazy is when I hear people say that Call of Duty doesn't have dedicated servers. That is a lie. Call of Duty absolutely 100% has dedicated servers. So let's look at one really quickly. This won't take but like 5 seconds to do this. You can see over here on the other side, I've got, my Elgato up. So I'm gonna look for a game, and right there, boom. This guy looks like he's the host, but then it clicks down here to Atlanta. This is a game server in Atlanta, right? All right. So that's very important that you understand how that works. I'm not going to play this game. Let me just turn that off. I just want to use that as an example. All right. I can't legally, I guess there's some legal situation between Netduma or Call of Duty, whatever, Activision, where I can't pinpoint all the servers on here. I can tell you there's a server in Atlanta, there's a server in Florida, there's a server in New Jersey, there's a server in Illinois, Texas, either St. Louis or Kansas. I don't know my geography. You can see this map here on this version. This is version 1.027. I think on the next version they're actually going to segment the states here in the United States, so that'll be good. If you don't know your geography, you have to just figure it out. But anyway, Kansas, like in the middle of America, there's servers out there. There's a server in San Francisco. There are dedicated servers all over the place. So you guys that keep crying and bitching, there's no dedicated servers, or Call of Duty would be better with dedicated servers. No, it won't. Call of Duty will be exactly how it is right now. The problem is the dedicated servers you're connecting to are sometimes over congested. Is that a word, over congested? But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's too much traffic because of the dense population. So I'm just gonna say it, the New Jersey server is garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, half of America lives over on the East Coast, so a lot of people are connected to that server. It's trash. I do best when I connect to the Atlanta server, even better when I connect to the Florida server. I live in South Florida. I'm about a mile from Miami North. The Florida server, I think, is somewhere between Tampa and Orlando. I don't know, but I have like a 15 to 20 second ping to that server. To the Atlanta server, I got a 40 millisecond ping. So when you get this, you want to situate yourself. This thing right here, this icon, this is where it's saying I'm located. Now, obviously, I'm located more down here, but I've got it between the Atlanta server and we'll just call it the Orlando server. And you can move that, you know what I'm saying? If you wanna play on shitty servers, you can put yourself up here in New Jersey somewhere, and you're gonna play. That's what it's gonna find you. This thing right here is what really separates this router. This says where you're gonna play. So if I've got this guy right here, I shouldn't play. I'm gonna play people in Cuba and the islands and all this stuff, but for the most part, I'm only gonna play in this, let's put it at 700 and something mile radius, right? The goal of this device and what really separates this from any other routers, this is saying basically, I'm not playing in Mexico, or I'm playing in Panama, whatever. I don't know where this is, but for the most part, if you're in New Jersey, New York, whatever, you're not gonna play in some crazy ass place. You can obviously expand this as it gets later in the day. You have to start playing against people on the West Coast, and you start moving west. But you generally want to keep it under 1,000-mile radius, and that should work good for you. All right, so I should talk about some of these other features. When you get this, this is the main thing you're going to use on a daily basis. Some of these other things, once you set them, they're just kind of set in stone, and you just move on. But this tab right here, the host filtering, you'll be on this like as you game. What you want to do is this is real time. So when you go to fire game, it'll show you who you're connecting to around the globe, and what server you're connecting to. And for me, I don't know how it is wherever you guys live. Maybe it's because I live in South Florida. I'm so far away from other people that play this game, but I connect to a dedicated server every single game. It's either Atlanta, Florida, New Jersey, or Illinois. Every once in a while, connect to Texas or the New Orleans server. Some of these more on the East Coast. I never connect to anything on the West Coast, but for the most part, I'm always going to connect to something, and I'm going to see that here. If you need any help on configuring this stuff, like I said, go to the Netduma forum. My video isn't going to be the place for that, but if you want to ask me a simple question in the comment section, I'd be more than happy to answer that. Congestion Control, this is where you can take your devices that are on your network, and you can give more priority to your PlayStation. For me, you can see my PlayStation outweighs, my Mac, all the other devices around my house. It's not something I use that much. I'm not really worried about my bandwidth of my network, because I've got like 100 and something. What's my my connection here? It doesn't say, but anyway, I've got 100 and something up and 20 something down. This only works for PC. It'll show you, what have you. VPN I never use. Network monitor, not something that I use, because again, I've got good bandwidth. It's not something probably don't want to show you my IP address. Okay, that's not on here, but anyway, network diagnosis, help, settings, Wi-Fi. I'm not going to click on any of these things. These are on standard routers. You guys should know, if you're watching this video, if you're interested in a Netduma router, this is kind of advanced. If you don't know how to manage the current router you have right now, if you can't even get that router into DMZ, don't get a Netduma. You're wasting your time, unless you want to just, take your time and figure this stuff out. If you guys are gamers, you really need to be cognizant of your connection. That's something that's very important. I'm not going to play, I play a lot of times with guys who just kind of clueless to that kind of stuff. I get it. I'm an IT professional. This is what I do, but I'm not a network professional. But I am very careful about my connection. Like, I'm not going to spend my time, 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day playing a game where I'm lagging around all over the place. Not going to happen. So you guys really have, if you get this router, be prepared to put your, get your hands dirty a little bit in some of these settings. But like I said, these settings are kind of standard on all routers. This is the main place that you're going to be. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more about this router. I've got a game playing in the background. So, all right, so obviously that's not the smoothest transition, but I've got a lot to talk about with this router. So make sure you guys check out part 2. Hopefully I'll leave a link in the description. There might even be a part 3 at this point. Who knows? I've talked for so long. I can just go on and on about this router. So remember, if you have questions about it, leave a comment on this video or the next video, and I'll be sure to get around to them. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace. Check for part 2.